Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're starting off by removing my client's current design. We're going to be just filing off that top layer of her design and the top coat. I'm not applying too much pressure. I have my Efile at a speed of 11,000 RPMs. And along with that, I'm using the 5-in-1 bit from Kiara Sky in medium grit. I believe this one is in the color black, but they do have tons of different options. I'm just going to be going in with very light pressure, removing that design without trying to debulk the nail. I am only going to be doing a fill on her set, so I want to make sure that I do kind of thin out that area near the cuticle. But for the majority of the nail, we're going to be leaving that thickness, as I do not want to debulk it too much so that it makes my life a little bit easier when doing the fill. I'm going to go ahead and continue removing that design. Now, once we're done removing that design, I am going to be going in with my mandrel and sanding band, both from Profiles Backstage. The sanding band is in medium grit, but I know a lot of people prefer to use fine. I do think that these are really fine, so it doesn't matter if you go up to medium. I definitely wouldn't go up to coarse though. We are going in with very light pressure at a speed of 4,000 RPMs. Definitely do not recommend to go beyond 4,000 RPMs. It can get a little dangerous. And I'm just going to be going in and removing that shine from her natural nail while also kind of pushing back her cuticle area. I do this in place of actually using a cuticle pusher. It's just my preference, so you guys try it out and see if you guys like it or not. But I'm going to be going in and again just simply removing that shine from her natural nail. Now, if she does have lifting, I would try to remove that at this point, but she literally didn't have really much lifting at all. So we're going to be going in now with this bit that is a tapered bit. I absolutely love it. It is from Profiles Backstage, and I'm just going to be going in and removing the excess cuticle from that area. It's going to help all the products adhere properly while just prepping that nail very gently. And I'm just going to be going in with my hand file. This is the Tammy Taylor Peel and Stick file. I decided not to do her cuticles, as if you guys have been following our journey with doing Brittany's nails, she has had some irritation in her cuticle area. So we're just steering clear and not touching them for now until we kind of figure out what it is or make sure that it is not occurring again. So I'm just going to continue to shape out these nails. I absolutely do not have to do this at this point. I could always wait till the end, but for my personal preference, I prefer to pre-shape before I go in with my fill. That way, if I need to rebalance the nail at all whatsoever, I'm not adding too much product to the nail. Next, we're cleaning up that cuticle area with a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. This is going to help dehydrate and just remove all that excess dust. Now I'm going in with my acrylic primer from Kiara Sky. This has been my go-to recently. It is nice and thick, so make sure you guys are paying attention to that and not adding too much product onto the nail. I'm focusing just on the natural nail portion so that I can go in with my acrylic fill and everything adheres really well. I'm now going in with this beautiful pink color. This one is called Sheerly Lock, but I went in with a different color because I accidentally took the pink that we originally used on her nails. to my house so I could do my toes, and I never brought it back. So this one is pretty similar. You can kind of tell when I add it on there that it is a little bit on the lighter side, but once I blend everything out, you can't even tell. And then especially once I go in with the design, you definitely can't tell that there's a difference. So I'm just making sure that I am getting very close to the cuticle area with not overflowing it. I'm holding the finger downward, pushing it up, and then gently blending everything out. And then, like I mentioned, if I need to rebalance the nail at all, I will go ahead and add a little bit more product wherever I feel it is necessary. Now, as the nail does grow out, you kind of do need to add a little bit more where the apex was. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that as well. If I just do a regular fill and I don't pay attention to the apex area, it will continue to get flatter and flatter in the area where you need the actual thickness, and then the thickness will be down where you don't technically need it. So make sure you guys are paying attention. Now, once everything is nice and dry, I'm going in with my 5-in-1 bit once again. At a speed of 10,000 RPMs, I'm going to be going in and filing that nail, making sure that I'm using very light pressure, but I'm going to be going in around that cuticle area to focus on sealing the cuticle, and then the length of the nail to make sure everything is nice and smooth. Now, this is just like my rough shaping and filing portion, and then I'm going to be going in with my mandrel bit and smoothing everything out. I feel like I still get a little bit of ridges when I'm using this bit, so I want to make sure that I am smoothing everything out and then buffing it as well. So now I'm going to be going in with my mandrel bit and sanding band, and then simply at 8,000 RPMs, we're going to pre-buff the nail. This is going to help everything nice and smooth. And then we're going to be going in with the buffer. So I'm just going in with this very kind of roughly, not focusing on any specific area, pretty much just making sure that I get the entire nail. And you will be able to notice where you actually filed and where you didn't, because this one gives off a nice little white cast as well as a hand file does. So you'll be able to see where you're missing any little areas and where you need to focus on to file again, so that everything is nice and smooth. Again, very light pressure on this, and I'm kind of just going all over the nail, not in any specific direction or any specific way. Now we're going to be shaping the nails one final time to make sure that they are nice and crisp and sharp. And then at this point, you can kind of feel the nail. If you feel like you absolutely need to buff it, you should definitely do that. But I ended up skipping that step on her nails just because I felt like they were pretty smooth with that mandrel bit that I used. And I'm going underneath the nail as well, making sure that there isn't any acrylic that might have gone under, so that it is nice and sharp. Now, I know you guys were probably expecting a nice fall neutral colored nails, but not with my girl Brittany. I'm sure you guys have already figured that out by now. So we're actually going to be doing some fun, squiggly, like random drip design. She did bring in an inspo photo, so we are going to be recreating that. I will be tagging the artist that created that design, but we're going to be going in first with our white. I'm trying to make my life a little bit easier while doing this design. I feel like the majority of the time I would go in with every single individual swirled design with every different color, and then that would just take forever. So instead, I wanted to leave a good white base. That way I don't have to really focus on making any lines super crisp at this point. And then we're going to be curing that in the light. Make sure you fully cure it. I am using the white gel art liner from Profiles Backstage. It is my go-to when doing this type of design just because it glides on the nail a little bit easier, and it is very opaque for being a liner. So I'm going to be going in and just smoothing everything out with a thicker brush. This is my 3D brush that I typically use, but because it has thicker bristles and a larger amount of bristles, I want to make sure that I'm covering more space of that nail to make my life a little bit easier by making the process a lot faster. So this is kind of one of the things that I've implemented in doing nail art. Not trying to use that thin little nail art brush to create an entire French nail or stuff like that. As you can see, I'm just making it a lot quicker by using this other brush as well. So again, we're going to be curing that in the light for a full 60 seconds. Once that is out of the light, we will be able to go in with our next layer of gel. And this time I'm going to be using the neon green gel paint from Profiles Backstage. It is a little bit thicker, so it's going to be a little bit harder for you to kind of draw that on, but I do prefer it with this kind of design just because it's going to stay put. But I'm going to be going in kind of with another little droopy design. And I'm just going to be randomly placing that on across the entire set. So you'll kind of see me doing some near the top, near the bottom, just randomly placing it so that it's not all super perfect. And next is going to be pink. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. These are all the neon gel paints from Profiles Backstage. So the purple that I use in the set, the blue that I use, the green, yellow, and pink are all from their neon gel paints from their frosting gel paint collection. And then again, like I mentioned, we're just going to be going in with random different colors of the client's choice. She did request no orange, therefore we're not going to be doing orange on her nails. And then we're going to be curing in the light every layer that you feel it is necessary. I just go ahead and do a few different colors before I went into the light, just because I felt comfortable with them not going anywhere. And because the gel paint is a little bit on the thicker side, I know that it's not going to run anywhere as well. Now always make sure to fully cure that second layer of gel paints, and I'm going to be going in with the black, and this time I do want to make sure that all the layers are fully cured, because I am going to be using that black to kind of overlap any of the other colors. Like say I need to make one a little bit more crisp, I'm going to be using that black to my advantage to go over it and make a super crisp black line to make everything look as if it's a little bit more on the perfect side. And then for my nail art brushes, I totally forgot to mention, they are some random brushes that I found in my drawer. Thankfully I had on hand because I took all of my nail art brushes home and I didn't bring them back. So I need to get my life a little bit together, but we are working through it. I was glad that I had these as backup. One of them is the not polished nail art brush. The bristles are a little bit shorter, so it was a little bit harder for me to do. Definitely recommend using longer bristled ones. And then I had the other one that goes to my dotting tool from Profiles Backstage that I use a lot to apply gem gel and stuff like that. The opposite end actually has a really long bristle liner, and I ended up using that as well for some of the portions. Now I want to make sure that you guys know, cure in the light for another 60 seconds and then maybe cure once more, because the gel paints are really thick, so you want to make sure that you are fully curing them thoroughly, and they are very opaque, so it makes it a little bit harder for the light to fully cure. Once everything is nice and dry, I'm going in with my top coat. We are going in with Gloss It from Not Polish. Super shiny top coat. If you guys are in need of one, definitely recommend it. It stays super shiny the entire time the nails are worn, and I feel like they do not get scratched or dull, so definitely recommend this one. And then we're going to be placing that in the light again for another 60 seconds just to ensure everything is nice and dry. And now for the final touches, we're going to be adding the Sweet V Cuticle Oil from Profiles Backstage. It is my collab with them, so make sure you guys check that out and support your girl. I'm just lathering that on her cuticles, making sure that I'm rubbing it in. But that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton. I'll see you guys next time.